Hello and welcome to Q&A with Qlik. Today we're going to be talking about Qlik Cloud Migration. Just want to introduce myself. My name's Troy Rainey. I help put together videos and webinars like this one. And we've got an excellent expert panel for you today. We'll just pass around and let everyone quickly introduce themselves. Adam, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name's Adam Jacobs. I am on our Move to Cloud team here at Qlik as a technical specialist. Uh, Next month will be my 11-year anniversary at Qlik, so been here quite a while, and looking forward to answering some of the questions you have.
That's very cool. Thanks. Benoit, how about you?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So same as Adam, moved to cloud team. I've been with Qlik and Talend for almost 8 years, and I'm focusing on the data side, and I'm very happy also to answer any of your questions today.
Great. Lugene.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luigi Chair. I'm a product manager focused on cloud data movement over on the data integration side of the Talend Cloud. I've been here for a little bit over 4 years, and I'm happy to help answer any questions you have on that as well.
Great. Thanks. Sebastian.
Hi everyone, my name is Sebastian Leduc. I joined Qlik about 9 months ago, and I've been working the development side of the Qlik Talend Cloud Migration Toolkit, and excited to answer everyone's questions.
Fantastic. And Swati?
Hi everyone, this is Swati. I have been working with Qlik from 4 years, and I work on Qlik Replicate and Qlik Talend Cloud Data Integration.
Fantastic. Thank you. So when you registered, you had an opportunity to submit some questions ahead of time. So we're going to start with those. But if you have any questions on the topic of any type of cloud migration, go ahead and submit them. That includes Qlik Replicate. All right, first question. We are using Qlik Sense Enterprise on Windows. Is it possible to get kind of a hybrid license for some users and special apps that should run in the cloud to use AI features? Good question.
I
Adam, you
can,
want to take that?
yeah, I can take that one. So the short answer on this is going to be you need to talk to your account team to figure out what the appropriate license should be for it. It is possible to do a hybrid deployment. It's somewhat common for some enterprises to do this while they're migrating to cloud. I will say my personal opinion, without knowing too much detail about your situation, is that should be looking to migrate fully to cloud eventually. I would look at this hybrid license as a temporary offering rather than something to land at permanently. But again, this is a discussion to have with your account team ultimately.
Great. Thanks. All right, next question. How about Talend Studio? If we migrate to Qlik Cloud, will there still be a desktop tool or will it be in the cloud? Benoit, do you want to jump on that one?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question, actually. That's something we've dreamt of for a couple of years. But unfortunately, the short answer would be no, we don't have any cloud-based studio. But when you move to QTC or Qlik Cloud, and you have the Talend license for sure, you'll get your fully fledged installation of Studio. You won't be connecting to your Talend administration console, but you will connect to TMC.
Great. Next question. Is there a way to migrate bookmarks and private sheets to Qlik Cloud?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So we did address this during the discussion that everyone watched, but just to reiterate, because it is important to talk about, as long as you are on QlikSense Enterprise Client Managed version November 2022 or later, you will be able to migrate private content, including bookmarks and private sheets. So that does get migrated over, assuming you select to migrate all as the export scope. But that's the answer there. That yes, those things do get migrated, and ownership is maintained if proper user mapping is done.
And the video Adam's referring to, if you weren't able to attend the Techspert talks last month, was all about, actually just a couple weeks ago. Sav and Adam mostly did a full demo of the Qlik Cloud Analytics Migration tool from QlikSense Windows Enterprise, QlikSense Enterprise on Windows, all the way to Qlik Cloud, and got to show and demonstrate exactly how that works. That's very cool. So do check that out. I just put the link into the chat. Next question. How are users migrated to Qlik Cloud from Enterprise if we use our own authentication tool?
I'll take that as well. One of the things that when you use your own authentication tool, which we fully recommend doing, when a user is created is when they actually first try to log into the cloud for the first time through that authentication method. Otherwise, the user isn't there until they actually log in. So unless your plan is to have every user log in first into the cloud so that they are there, then the user won't be there before your content is migrated. So one of the things that makes user mapping worthwhile is making sure to map those users on QlikSense Client Managed to the cloud user, which generally you're going to try to map the email attribute with those users. So you have those mappings. You migrate those users who are not already in the cloud using the migration tool. That means that the user is there before even the first time they try to access the cloud, and you're able to then map their private content, their bookmarks, their private sheets, their applications that they own, anything that they have ownership of. You're able to do that mapping appropriately. So that's how the migration would work with using the migration tool versus just relying only on your authentication method.
Fantastic. All right, moving along. Next question. Any suggestions for clients who only have QlikView and do not have access to the QlikView QlikSense converter?
So you can still get access to the QlikView to QlikSense converter by using QlikSense Desktop. The converter exists in there, and you are going to be able to create a converter connection there. So QlikView is always going to be a little bit more work than QlikSense Client Managed, mainly because you are going to have to recreate that user interface, even as we're able to migrate a lot of stuff and help out with speeding up the migration of QlikView migration. It's still going to require going into the user interface and recreating all your sheets. So it is going to be a little bit more effort. However, the QlikSense converter, the QlikView to QlikSense converter, is still available in QlikSense Desktop, and you can use that as the connection in the migration tool.
Great. And I just wanted to highlight from the video that QlikView and QlikSense converter are available for creating connections in the migration tool. So there's definitely paths for migrating from QlikView. All right. Next question, a bit of a follow-up. Regarding the current question, this works for full migration, but what about hybrid migration via QMC distribution?
So this tool is designed to migrate to cloud. Doing any sort of hybrid, that's all going to be outside of this tool. This tool is specifically designed for doing migrations into cloud. You do not have to migrate everything all at once. If you want to start with some hybrid deployments at first and migrate others, or have a hybrid deployment to start and then slowly migrate things into cloud fully, you can absolutely do that. But it is not going to help you do a hybrid deployment.
Yeah. But with a hybrid license, you can totally push QlikView applications to your cloud tenant if you just want to have it that way. But the architecture still requires reloads and such still require QlikView if you're going to do that. Right. And I see a few questions are slipping into the chat. Just so you know, if you can keep your questions to the Q&A tools, that way I will be sure not to miss them, but I'll read this one. How would you treat the hybrid deployment as temporary in a situation where the current cost model of anonymous access in Qlik Cloud makes it favorable to keep those apps on-prem regarding large apps or heavy data models?
So anything around cost, I'm going to defer to your account team on this. That said, we now do offer the data capacity licensing model versus user-based model, so this may address that issue. But again, there's a lot of detail that we just can't get into on this type of Q&A. So please talk to your Qlik account team to figure out what the best approach is going to be. As I said, without knowing a lot of detail, that was my overall opinion, but every customer is going to be slightly different. So that doesn't mean that my overall opinion matches every single customer.
Of course. That's good advice. Reach out to your account representative. All right, next question. I have a question regarding the migration, but this time from QlikView to Qlik Cloud. Oh, I guess the same thing. Is regarding QlikView to Qlik Cloud, is there a way to keep bookmark shared after the migration into cloud? When it comes to
There
QlikView.
isn't.
Okay.
And part of that is just because bookmarks not only have the selections, but also the location of your bookmark. There's just not a way to do that one-to-one, unfortunately, when doing a QlikView to QlikSense migration. It's going to, any sort of bookmarks are going to have to be noted. They're going to have to be recreated as part of the migration. This is another reason why migrating from QlikSense to Qlik Cloud, this tool is certainly a lot more robust. There's a lot more one-to-one. QlikView to Qlik Cloud is going to require a bit more work.
Sure. All right, next question, and two parts, so I'll read them one at a time. Can we infer a schema from an external table in Snowflake? And I think this is regarding Qlik Replicate.
Qlik Replicate. Yeah, right. I will take this. So Qlik Replicate doesn't load data to external table. We use a staging area. It could be like internal or external, and load data to Snowflake tables using DML operations.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the second question, right? Pass-through filter. Yeah. I think let me read the question. Is the pass-through filter in Qlik task the only way to force a limited or filtered data load? No, actually, we are having another option as well. That is called parallel load. I'll be sharing the user guide link for that. Yeah, and pass-through filter is only the not only the method, but is the only one that ensures data reduction at source level. And I'm talking about the parallel load, right?
Okay.
Yeah, let me share that user guide link. Yeah.
All right. Let me grab that URL and I'll paste that. So this is documentation on how to set up those parallel loads, right?
Yeah.
All right, there's that link for everybody. Great, thank you. Next question. Do you have a plan to migrate QlikSense built-in mashups?
At the moment, this is not something that is being considered. Again, this is one of those situations where the way that mashups are done in Qlik Cloud versus client managed are certainly a bit different, as well as making sure that it's something that's gonna migrate appropriately. It's not high priority at the moment. There's other things that have been major requests that we are working through. If there, for some reason, is a lot of demand for this, we may look into it. But as of right now, there's not a plan to migrate built-in mashups. Those will have to be recreated after a cloud migration.
Great. And there are no more questions at the moment. If I've missed it, please go ahead and resubmit in the Q&A tool. Make sure I don't miss your question. Benoit, while we've got a moment, I just wanted to ask a follow-up question. Could you tell us about the Talend Cloud Migration tools?
Yes, for sure. We developed this tool for a couple of years. I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 years. And yeah, I mean, it has a lot of capabilities. So it's available on the community. You can download it on our documentation pages. Available on Windows, Linux, and Mac. And it does two things mainly. It does the inventory and assess your current Talend implementation on-prem. It generates a lot of reports that are really key for our, let's say, our professional services to base an effort of how this migration will take. They can base the number of days SOW on it. And so this is all about the assessment. In parallel, in Qlik world, we have like the readiness assessment application. So this is included in the tool. So the first capability is doing assessment inventory. The second one is automation for the migration. So basically, you can migrate pretty much anything from on-premise, Talend on-premise to QTC. And this migration automation are, let's say, divided in different categories. The first one will be the what we call the administration assets. So all your users, their rights, their roles, they will be mapped to the equivalent roles in the cloud. Your project definition, and also your execution task and plan. And the second category, it's all about project code, right? You would like to be on the latest version when you move to Talend Cloud. And the application actually embeds a CI/CD sandbox that will provide you, I mean, you just have to click. And the result is that you have like a CI/CD backend to push massively and upgrade massively your studio code from any version to the latest version. And it does the same so for the code, but also for the tasks and the plans as well. Basically, you are using the tool, you are really, let's say, save a lot of time during the migration.
Thank you for that. All right. A lot of questions are coming in, so I'll start picking up from the Q&A tool. Before I forget, there's one in the chat here. Are the latest Qlik Sense migration tool to Qlik Cloud, is that supported? I would say absolutely. And you can find the Qlik Cloud Analytics migration tool under the download section on Qlik Community if you would like to download it today. So if you go here, support,
Yeah,
product
Troy,
downloads.
it is absolutely under Qlik Support.
Yep. Great. All right, next question. What are some of the common reasons that would cause high disk space usage to creep up on Qlik Replicate?
Yeah, Troy. I'll take this.
Okay.
So usually, like if target is slow, then replicate will accumulate all the changes on disk. That is like during that time we will see this type of issue. And also if target goes down, and if the table contains any LOBs like large objects, during that time also like replicate needs more memory and disk space in order to accumulate the data, because the calculation will be different when we are like loading the LOB data. And if we enable verbose logging, then also like it will utilize the disk space. So whenever we like for troubleshooting purpose only, we will be enabling the verbose logs, but we have to make sure we are again placing it back to info level, not keeping it at the verbose logging.
That's
So
good
these
best
are some
practice,
of
yeah.
the, yeah.
And there are some settings in Replicate as well to sort of clean up the logs after a certain period of time, right?
Correct. Yeah, regularly like cleaning up the logs or adjustments, right? There is a setting that we can do it. So I can share my screen and I
Sure.
can show like where to. Share. Okay. Yeah, you guys can view my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Here, if we go to the logging and delete logs, here we are having this option, delete task logs that are older than, delete server logs that are older than. This one we have to consider it. And also we will get a notification whenever the disk space is high. So this also we can set it up like in order to get the notification before reaching 90% or like 95% or 95%.
Those are great suggestions, great tips. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. We recently migrated QlikView and Qlik Sense to Qlik Cloud. To maintain a hybrid system, Qlik Sense apps are distributed to Qlik Cloud via the QMC. Unfortunately, this method causes all personal items to be lost. Is there a way to send personal elements along with the distributed apps?
There isn't.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that, again, I don't fully support, edge
I hear
cases
you're not a
aside,
fan of the hybrid.
I don't fully support having hybrid be your end goal. Hybrid
Yeah.
should be the temporary solution as you are migrating. So making sure to try to get these applications, especially as you mentioned, they are ClickSense applications. These should most likely be migrated into Qlik Cloud. And because they are private content, it also means the anonymous user situation doesn't apply either. Really should look at using the migration tool, talking with your Qlik account team, talking with Qlik Professional Services, whoever you need to, about getting these applications fully into cloud so that private content can be used. It will reduce your server load because you're not reloading applications on-prem. There are just a slew of reasons to move away from the hybrid distribution and go fully into cloud.
So, yeah, I guess the solution is to fully migrate them. And all those personal items can be migrated so you don't keep losing that stuff. So, good point. Great, thank you. Next question. We are an NPrinting power user. If the NPrinting readiness shows around 85% ready to migrate, then does it mean Qlik Automate can support all these reports? Also, in terms of major features, what are some of the features already available on the roadmap for Qlik Automate? All right, two big questions there. Let's start with the NPrinting. If the readiness app shows they're 85% ready to migrate their NPrinting.
Yeah, that could mean that it's all through Qlik Automate. That could also mean that you would be able to take advantage of Qlik Tabular reporting in cloud. Could also mean that you're ready to take advantage of Qlik Pixel Perfect. Could even at this point mean that there might be HTML body emails that you could take advantage of as far as how NPrinting is working. There's a lot of possibilities there, but if it says 85% ready, again, without looking at the details of your application that shows that, then that to me says that yes, 85% of your reports can be done in Qlik Cloud. When it comes to the Automate roadmap, I don't have a lot of details on that, on what's coming around Automate. I know there's been plenty of improvements with it, including things like being able to have it move away from just being a personal automation into shared automations and things like that. But as far as the actual roadmap, that's something where I defer to product management on something like that in R&D.
And speaking of suggestions and product management, there is a section on Qlik Community called Qlik Ideation. You can find it under Support, Ideation. And here is where you can see suggestions for improvements, feature requests on the different products, and you can vote for suggestions that have already been made and follow them and get updates and see if those suggestions or feature requests are actually scheduled to be included into the product. So I definitely recommend checking this out, searching for ideas that are already there. And if you have some idea that is not already on the list, please submit it because our product management team definitely weighs customer input heavily when it comes time to making improvements. I'll just post that link in here for everybody. Great. Next question. We're in the process of migrating from Talend on-prem to Qlik Talend Cloud. Since Qlik Talend Cloud needs Qlik Cloud, we just set up our IDP with our corporate IDP. Since I set this up, I can no longer invite users to the Qlik Cloud tenant. If I disable the IDP I can invite again, I do not see a setting to allow Qlik Cloud to retain the ability to create or invite users. Any thoughts?
Yeah,
I could.
go ahead,
I
Adam,
think,
because
yeah.
I think I can't answer that. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, there isn't an invite option for that, but all you have to do is just send them the link to the Qlik Cloud tenant. Once they hit that link, they're going to be prompted with your IDP to log in, and then once they log in, the user is created. So unlike with the invite, where because we are using Qlik.com's authentication, where you do have to send an invite in order to allow someone to get in. Once you have your own IDP, you don't need the invite anymore. You just send them the link to the tenant, and they'll be able to log in.
That sounds so easy. That's great. Thank you. All right. Next question. During the Qlik Analytics Migration Tool installation based on use certificate, and we got a link here to the documentation page that they're following along. It mentions a difference between dedicated server versus non-dedicated server as an evaluation. Can we turn a non-dedicated server evaluation into a dedicated server without doing a new installation? And if yes, are there any settings to modify?
Good question. I would say you probably will have to reinstall, because the big thing that matters here is the certificates, and you do need a valid third-party certificate that all machines can use and access in order to have it be a dedicated server, or really a server where it's accessing things that are outside of that particular server. So if it's a non-dedicated server, what that means to me is that you installed it on the same server where you have QlikSense client managed. We do recommend, for the most part, doing it through a dedicated server, meaning installing it on its own server where third-party certificates can match, the networking can match, and everything can get, all the machines can talk to each other. It really depends on how things are set up, but I also believe you will still have to uninstall and reinstall in order to make sure that that third-party certificate takes place. So it may be a situation where you might want to just spin up a dedicated server anyway. But dedicated server tends to mean that it's that there's nothing else installed. That's a clean server, that it's dedicated specifically to QAMT. So I think no matter what, you're going to have to look at uninstalling and reinstalling elsewhere in order to make it dedicated.
Thanks. That was very helpful. I remember in the demo you mentioned that as a recommendation or best practice to have it on its own machine, but it's interesting that this could be an error that people are running into when they don't follow that recommendation. Great. Next question. There are some possible types of triggers in TAC that do not exist in TMC. I've come across a client that has a trigger to run the task every 2 minutes. What are the best practices in this case?
Yeah, so it's a great question. Actually, I'm going to answer the first one. Like, what are the differences in terms of triggers when we compare TAC and TMC? One thing that has not been mentioned here in the question is like the only trigger that is not supported in TMC are the file trigger. So meaning that your job will be triggered by a file coming to a folder. So this is not supported, but on the community, I'll send a link to Troy to share with you. We have some workaround, right, to do that. On the other part of the question is like, how come my customer is allowed to, let's say, run a task every 2 minutes? And this is maybe one of the main problems of TAC, is that we were allowing anything to be done like this, and it could actually break your Talend administration console. That's why it's the main point of failure of our on-prem deployment. Anyways, to come back to the serious thing, yeah, I would say that the alternative would be, so yeah, just to be sure, like TMC allows you to do every 5 minutes. That's the minimal time that you can run two tasks, the same task one after another. If you are 2 minutes, you might rethink about how you want to do that. Like we are pretty close to runtime, so maybe a streaming job would be interesting using Kafka, or maybe an ESB route waiting for a message or NQ deployment like message NQing. So I think we need to the customer need to rethink somehow the type of job he's going to use, and rather than using a standard job and running it every 2 minutes. That's my question. That's my answer. Sorry.
That's great. Thank you. All right. Next question. It's a follow-up. They're asking if there's anything on the roadmap related to Qlik Cloud Reporting, not Qlik Automate. And I don't know if you guys know anything specifically, but I would again defer to the Qlik ideation page. Just pausing in case anybody knows of anything exciting coming around the corner, but otherwise, I guess not. All right. Oh, and here is that workaround. Great. I'll post that to everybody. All right. Next question. We are migrating from client managed to cloud. What thoughts do you have about changing QVD generator applications to flows and recipes? I know this would be a bit of a rework, but are there any advantages to removing scripts from apps?
There are. You can think about how it's much easier to transfer knowledge about how to generate those QVDs using data flows rather than strictly generator apps and scripts. Qlik scripting is something that someone has to get a bit of training on to understand what's going on, to understand how it works, to actually execute. And sometimes, some weird things might be put in there that is really, really hard for someone looking at it for the first time to interpret. Data flows have a much easier UI to understand, to see what's happening, to see all the steps that are taking place to go do that generation. So wherever possible, I think it's probably best practice to try to migrate those into data flows to maintain that that ability to pass things down and have users pick things up as they people might change roles or things like that.
Good point. All right. Next question regarding user creation. Can you initialize users with an automation as long as the email matches your IDP? And will that set the remaining attributes when they first log in?
I'm just making sure that I
yeah, email match IDP and
yeah, when they log in, it will take into account all of their other attributes as needed. Things as long as, for instance, group creation is set up in Qlik Cloud to allow for that, it will take the groups from your IDP and assign those users to those groups that they belong to. Also, when it comes to this. Anything else that might be there, including full name and things like that, those are going to be accounted for when they first log in. Even if the user is already created using QAMT, where the email and the subject are already there, other attributes get picked up as you once they log in for the first time.
Great, thanks. All right. Next question. Is there a tool to migrate NPrinting to Qlik Cloud Reporting? And if so, does the results support on-demand features? So probably multiple answers to that.
Good news. Yeah. Good news is that the Qlik Analytics migration tool has the ability to migrate NPrinting reports for the ones that are supported as a one-to-one migration. Some things are not one-to-one; they have to be recreated, but it does support that. As far as the on-demand features for saying, click a button and generate a report, that is available in Qlik Cloud. The capability to actually migrate that to have it just work right off the bat, I believe you may have to make sure to reconnect that within the application versus having it just work right off the right out of the gate. But to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on if that's true. But I'll take the more conservative answer and say that you do have to set that up again. But on-demand features do work.
That's great. Thanks. All right, last couple of questions here. When did the Qlik Replicate, or what would be the best approach on constraints enable, disable on the target side? I think this would be a one-time load. CDC may not have constraints issue. Are there any options to call the SQL block or store procedure option to use before and after the load for the constraints disable and enable? I'm a little confused by that, but go ahead.
Yeah, with whatever I understand, right?
Oh, good.
This is like, yeah. So during full load phase, constraints may cause issues if parent rows are not loaded before child rows. So best practice is to disable constraints on the target before full load. We are having an option for that. I will show that where to go and check in the task settings while performing the full load. So this will ensure no constraint violations interrupt the load process. And for CDC is has to work as it is. And if you observe any issues, then you need to run using a transactional apply. So usually we won't suggest to go with batch optimized because you'll end up with issues. For these type of tables during CDC, I would recommend to go with the transactional apply. And regarding the script, right, the best way is to write a script to disable constraints and run task using API call and enable it after the load. But Replicate cannot turn on any processor to disable it. So you have to write a script to disable the constraints, and you have to run it using an API. And yeah, let me show the where we can enable the option.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen again?
Yeah. Able to view my screen, right?
Just a moment. Yes.
So yeah, let me just click on any of the tasks. So here under task settings, full load, we are having this option, target table preparation and primary key or unique index creation. Create primary key or unique index creation after full load completes. We can check this. So it will give a good performance when we check this option.
Fantastic. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah. I hope I answered, but still, if there is a question, yeah, they can ask.
Of course. All right. Next question. I have QlikSense client managed. How can I estimate the cloud data consumption capacity? So he's already got, sounds like they already have, or they're considering capacity licensing on cloud. They want to know if there's a way to estimate it.
Yeah, the answer here is to talk to your Qlik account team and have them help you with running the SaaS readiness application in your client managed environment. This will give an idea of consumption capacity. This will help to provide some sort of estimate. However, just the nature of the difference between client managed and cloud and what we can and can't actually measure in your client managed environment, this number is kind of a ballpark. It's not going to be 100% accurate. This is why one of the things that we've done with our program is allow for something called Snap the Line, where we are going to work with your account team to agree on what a migration of go forward price is for being on the cloud. We'll make sure that for a given amount of time that you essentially get unlimited capacity. We'll monitor the usage of that capacity over time, find where kind of the high watermark is, taking into account any weird anomalies, but figure out where that high watermark is, and then snap that to be your new capacity limit. So you already know what the price is going to be. It's just a matter of figuring out where your limit on capacity is before moving up. So this is something that we are working with customers on a case-by-case basis. Talk to your account team, figure out what the best approach is. Regardless, before you migrate, you absolutely need to make sure that you run the SaaS readiness application. It's going to give you a lot of information that you wouldn't otherwise have about how to configure your migration, even beyond figuring out data capacity limits.
That's great. Thank you. And that's a very cool option to be able to just see what it would actually be for a while before you get locked into any pricing. That's awesome. All right, the next question. What is the best practice for publishing Qlik cloud charts on the internet and granting anonymous access? Wondering about hybrid or public internal. What is the license type? And I guess when it comes to anonymous, we're probably talking about the anonymous tenant, right?
So there's ways to allow for anonymous access on a Qlik tenant, including assigning temporary JOT tokens to users.
Okay.
Because our new data capacity model, this would not, having all of these users come in, you do not have to estimate your traffic, you do not have to estimate the number of users. All you're concerned about is just the amount of data you're serving up in Qlik Cloud, not usage of that data. So in this instance, you could do something like assign those anonymous JOT tokens for a period of time while the user is looking at the charts. This allows you to put these charts up on a site and allow that type of access without having to be super concerned about what that usage ultimately is. I do believe we are working towards a more streamlined version of an anonymous access, including anonymous access tenants, things like that. Though where we are in that journey, I'm not 100% sure. But what I just described does work today if you set it up appropriately. And I believe there are videos out there on how to set this up.
Great, thank you. All right. Next question. Can Talend pull replicate task metrics via API to centralize monitoring and alerting? If not, could you show some options for doing that?
Yeah, try. I can take this.
Okay.
So Talend cannot pull the replicate task metrics, but we are having another tool that is like Qlik Enterprise Manager. With QEM APS, which exposes all required metrics.
Okay, so the enterprise, what was it called again? Qlik Enterprise Manager?
Correct. Yeah. Qlik Enterprise Manager.
All right, so that is a tool that makes that available. Fantastic.
And Swadis, sorry, just a quick question, maybe for me actually. Is this API? I mean, do we have this data available through API anyways in Replicate?
Sorry, Bennett, can you repeat one more time?
I'm just asking a question about those, let's say those metrics in the Replicate task. Are they available as an API? Like, can you call an API to retrieve them?
Yeah, we are having actually like a Postgres database. We will install that Postgres database along with the Qlik Qlik Enterprise Manager. So that Postgres database will have all the metrics information, analytics and metrics.
All right.
And we can use the APIs as well in order to.
All right, because Talend, I mean, with Talend, the studio, let's say, you can create a job that contains a TRS component that actually can call whatever API you want. And if you are in the context of the cloud, you could actually call those metrics from Replicate and send them to TMC logging monitoring as well with the TL job log component. But then again, this is another solution, but yeah, yours makes more sense.
Yeah.
And it's out of the box.
That's one thing about Talend Studio. It can do a lot of things if you know how to do it, right? All right. And last question that's come in, it was asking if you could, Swati, show the API call in Qlik Replicate to enable and disable constraints.
For this, usually this type of like writing a script or this API call, right? Professional services will be assisting for customers. So currently, yeah, I'm not having any API call for this, but I can check on this and I can get back.
Okay. And no more questions are coming in. So I just want to thank everybody for attending. Thank you so much to this expert panel for being here and addressing all the questions that have come in. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.